Welcome everyone to episode 22 of the draft. This week we'll be talking about the Autotrader Echopark 400 at Dover. I'm joined as always by my two co-hosts here, Phil Eastman, Tino Patino. Guys, so good to see you. I'm back in my element now, not sitting outside drinking way too much wine while we record. So that's nice. But great to see you both. Quick recap of Sonoma last week, and then we can head right into this week. Between the two road course races, personally, I was up a little over 5 units. It's one of those things where you get to the end of these races and you're just like, well, kind of wish I put those 20 something units I wagered all on SVG for both races and be, a lot richer right now. But still happy to come out of there alive and up over 5 units. How did you guys enjoy Sonoma? Phil, I'm going to start with you. How'd you enjoy the race? Did you win any money? How'd everything go?
Yeah. So I kind of said it last week. I enjoy Sonoma more so than the other tracks we've been to on the road course this year. So it was okay. I mean, when you're dealing with, as a fan, when you're dealing with a driver like that who is just so damn good, it does stink to show up a little bit, but I enjoy, watching that track and the way it plays out. I didn't win money. Strange thing that I had going on. So I had Trackhouse to win. I had a top 5 or top 10 hit. I had a head-to-head hit. Had some couple bad breaks, but my situation was I added 4 bets on race day, and all 4 of them missed. So I was like,
Oh,
what am I doing? Like you feel like you'd hit those, and all of them kind of had like weird breaks that
yeah,
pushing that way. But still, I was like, dude, if I just didn't bet anything, I would have been up like 3 units. So yeah, down a unit plus, but still, you know, feeling good about going into this week. Happy to be back on ovals, I'd say.
nice. Yeah, not a killer weekend, but it was. Again, I thought the racing was good. I didn't like all the restarts at the end, but overall, I thought the race was fun. Tino, what'd you think? How'd you do?
Yeah, same sort of way in terms of when it's SVG. Like you said, Ryan, I wish I threw more on him, like threw just enough to sort of get a little bit to say that I won, but it was, just
Yeah,
another masterclass. And I think to me, I enjoyed the race. So that was probably my favorite SVG domination thus far because of him flipping the stage and winning the stage. That was something
yeah,
that's something that I wrote down where I was like, all right, I got to make sure I bring this up on the show. I got to make sure I remember to talk about that because that's one of the, I haven't seen anything like that. And you're really not supposed to. At a road course, I guess would be like the most optimal chance for that to happen, right? But still, either way, like I feel like that needs to be talked about more. I'm respecting his capabilities. I think one thing that people may be hung up about in terms of all this road course talk, and I don't want to get too much into that, but I think that something that may make sense here is I feel like it's overwhelming the amount of road courses we have because we've had so many in a row, like the Chicago and the Mexico, and now Sonoma was all within a 5-week span. So it's like we know SVG is going to come out here and dominate. Maybe we do that. Maybe we have road courses be more separate on the schedule next year or something like that moving forward. Because I'm okay with 4 to 6 road courses. Obviously, that's, maybe pushing it for some people, but if we can sort of spread them out more, we won't see SVG dominating back-to-back weeks like we did. But either way, I thought it was a cool race. And one thing I did want to note as well in the beginning of the race, it was going by fast. Like this was a quick road course. I remember first 2 stages were done within an hour, I think. And I remember like looking at the time, I was like, wow, this is a quick race. And then stage 3 happened. And then it was like how
yeah,
Phil mentioned the all the cautions at the end. That was a little bit tough part because it went from an hour between stage 1 and 2 and then like 3 hours to finish stage 3.
yeah,
But it was awesome though. I enjoyed watching NASCAR on a Sunday.
yeah. We're back to we're away from roads for 3 weeks now before we get back to I think the Glen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, we do take quite a break. You go to Coda so early in the year, and you don't see a road for a long time. So yeah, maybe they'd look at switching that up. But all right. So one thing we got to do, give Phil his props. Another big win, and now Tino, you have 7 wins. Phil and I both have 6.5. This week is a pivotal week on the draft. One good week for myself or Phil, and we finally take you down because you've been leading this thing all year long. So the pressure's on you tonight, my friend. you'll be able to do your trick here where you go last in the wild card round. So, you came in last, you have that final pick in the wild card to really turn it on us. So that'll be a fun little twist later on. And you've been the best at that so far this season. So we'll see what happens there. So we're gonna take it right into Dover. We'll just dive right into it. I'm gonna let Phil do his track preview, but one thing I will mention beforehand is that we're bringing a brand new tire here that we haven't seen ever, and we won't see again for the rest of the season. So this is just the Dover tire. The most interesting thing is they didn't even test on it. The other interesting thing is we could get weather this weekend. And so what if there's no practice or qualifying and you just go into a race on a tire you've never raced on? I think Saturday is going to be okay. So I think they're going to be in the clear, but just saying that'd be kind of wild. And it would be like super NASCAR if that happened. It just feel like even without rain in the schedule, it'll just pop up or something stupid. But um anyways, just wanted to mention that. I think it's very interesting. We've never seen this before, neither have the drivers. So, Phil, with that being said, go ahead and kick it off for the Dover preview here.
Yeah. That was definitely a major part of the preview. So I can kind of touch on a little bit of that also at the end. But
My bad.
yeah, 1 mile. Well, no, it's not your bad. It's good hosting. You have to hit the main topics, but yeah, Dover, the Monster Mile, as they call it. It's about an hour from where I sit right now. And yeah, 1 mile concrete track in Dover, Delaware. And they used to come here twice a year, and 2020 was the last time they stopped that. So since then, a little less data to pull from once a year. Since then, we've got 3 races in the next gen car to pull from. But they got practice, like you said, on Saturday, and I just pulled up the weather. Saturday looks okay, 7% chance of rain in our area on Saturday. So fingers crossed. And I'd also, because what you mentioned with the tire, I was going to say, I think they would prioritize making sure that we get a chance to have practice. Even if there was some sketchy weather, if it got up to about 50, 60, 70%, I think they would definitely prioritize making sure they get something on track. But 25 minutes per group, I don't think that's enough, fellas. I don't think that's right. I think it should be more than that because of the tire situation. But,
Yeah.
who am I? I'm just a guy sitting here talking about this stuff. But yeah, and then the stages: 120 in stage 1, 130 in stage 2, 150 in stage 3, 400 total. So pretty interesting there. The stage not really that much different from each other as far as the
Yeah.
laps. Some races you see stage 3 like super long. And as far as track stats, last time we had a pole winner win the race, Jimmy Johnson in 2010, and the last time we had someone starting outside the top 20 win a race, Tony Stewart in 2013. Toyota has won 2 of the 3 next gen. Chevy won the other one. And another weird Dodge note: no active Ford drivers have won. And we've got more Dodge. Brad Keselowski, sorry, was a active winner who's driving a Ford, but when he won, he was driving a Dodge. So it's been a while for Ford. Kevin Harvick had 1 or 2 sprinkled in there, but nobody active in a Ford car. So yeah, looking forward to Dover, and hopefully the weather holds out.
Well, for those who have watched all year long or have followed your content over the past few years, if they're watching right now, they see what shirt you're wearing. So perhaps that streak could change here. So it's the famous Ryan Blaney shirt. Let's see if we can make some magic happen.
The fact that I'm a half point off the lead to try to unseat Tino, he's been leading wire to wire so far. This shirt either gives me magic or it gives him magic. It's one or the other. And it's worked out. So I'm knocking on wood. I bet Blaney. We're going to talk about Blaney. Robert knows. As soon as we logged on, he bet Blaney. So yeah, I broke the shirt out for tonight, and we'll talk about why, I guess, when we get to Penske.
All right, that's awesome. We will jump right into the show then. So we are going to draft one driver from every team that you see on the left here. We'll make a big 3 pick. That's going to be another pick from Hendrick, Joe Gibbs, or Penske. Then we're going to pick a best of the rest, which is a pick from any team you don't see listed on the side. And then a wild card can be anyone from any team that you haven't selected yet. The winner will pick a charity of their choice and win the race. Will donate to that charity. Yeah, and I'll say this, a lot of what we're going to mention on the show, at least I know what I am. I know, most of what you guys do all comes from Win the Race. It's $30 a month right now, 40% off for the rest of the year. So if you hear anything that you want to go check out more of, just go to wintherace.info, check that out. We hope to see you in there. Make sure you join the Discord if you do sign up. So let's lead right into this 2311. I'll go first here. Just kick things off, I guess. I normally kick it to one of you, so we'll just switch up the order a little bit here. So my pick for 2311, let me get the board up here. I'm going to lead it off with Tyler Reddick. I know he's pretty much our staple every week when we get to this team. But, we have our 20,000 simulations. We have Reddick beating Bubba over 65% of the time. So right there, that's my, kind of dead giveaway. We got Greg firing off bets in the Win the Race Discord, kind of laddering up Reddick a little bit here. So we just show some value on it. He's been very fast. If we look at, one thing we could talk about is like Dover being so unique. There's not a lot of tracks you can compare to it. Maybe Bristol because it's a high banked concrete track. Maybe Darlington high banked, and if they bring a tire that brings a lot of tire wear over the long green flag runs, maybe this has some similarities. Nashville because it's the only other concrete track we've seen him on this year. So, things like that. If you do look at that, in my true performance scores, Reddick was third best at Darlington, fourth best at Nashville. And we know he's been fast, all year. He's got finishes of 7th and 11th with 2311 at Dover. So again, just trying to point our way ahead here on the draft. Give me Tyler Reddick over his teammates. Tino, I'm going to kick it to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick as well. I'll keep it short and simple from him for that point specifically. But I did want to note what Team 54 is saying in the chat and appreciate everyone in the chat thus far. Brian, Big Ross, Channy, Robert, Kyle, all you guys. Keep it coming with all your comments and everything. But worth noting, first week of being an open car for not only 2311 and Tyler Reddick, but Front Row as well, which are coincidentally our first two teams on the draft always each week. So I don't know, Phil, do you think that's going to sort of matter at all in terms, well, it definitely matters in terms of their payout, but that's one thing that I'm sort of curious about is to see if it impacts their performance on the field or not.
Yeah, I think if it does impact their performance, I mean, for now it'll be mental. I don't think it would really start to impact them as far as like equipment or financially, if at all, until later. I mean, I don't know how many, Front Row would probably be the team that would be a little bit more sketched out, because if we do have a race where there's more cars than there are spots, then, those guys don't, they're not awesome every week at qualifying. So, so that team would be a little bit more sketched out. But I don't expect to see much of a difference. I think at this point in time, it's more of a storyline than anything. An interesting one and a very important one, but we'll have to see how that plays out. I would guess no, we wouldn't see much of it.
One thing I did want to add real quick was it would be very interesting to see if all of this stuff's happening for the first time now and everything. I'm assuming it's going to get resolved before the season's over, honestly, but if it doesn't, Tyler Reddick could win this NASCAR in-season challenge here, get $1 million from NASCAR themselves. Couldn't hurt when all this stuff's going on. So I think that might be the script throughout it all.
That's yeah. So that would actually, that's a great storyline. I'm kind of cheering for that out of that group probably now. So pretty cool. But
Phil, you can lead right into your pick.
It's Reddick, and not much more to say. I mean, if you want to look at Bubba, his ceiling is probably like 13th here. Just like, and you hit your comps. I'll just mention this for the rest of the show too. Like Bristol, Darlington, Nashville. I was looking at those three comps, and then the intermediate package as a whole this year. Reddick's been fast in this package. So just speed overall in 2025, better performance at Dover. It's just, you can't take a shot with Wallace here. So I got to go Reddick.
Perfect. I'm going to let you lead right into our first Ford team. Then let's talk about Front Row. It's funny too, we have these guys listed back to back here. So we'll just head right into it. Phil, you keep it rolling. Who's your pick going to be for Front Row?
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with the weekly dart throw. I'm going to go with Zane Smith here. And I'm interested, honestly, really interested to see where you guys go with this. Because Noah finished 6th here last year. So that's enticing. Todd Gillen completely, to me, is off the board. He has let me down 2 weeks in a row on road courses where he should be good. And going to Dover, he's, not good as far as his finishes are concerned. So hopefully one of you guys takes him. But 24th for Zane last year in his only start here at Dover. And to me, it's more so looking at those 3 comp tracks that I called out. Like when we get into guys like this where we have little to no data at all, you do kind of have to lean more heavily. And on those 3 tracks, he's got a much better average finish this season, 17.3. He's got 2 top 15 finishes. So, I'll go with Zane just because of that reason. I'm interested to see where you guys go. So I'll shut up and I'll hang up and listen, as they say.
It's all good. My pick all day has been written down as Zane Smith. And, it's a lot of what you just said there, but it's like, even if you look just at the big scope of things, like all different types of tracks and just like recent form, I had said in Discord last week, someone, I'm like, man, Gragson just can't finish anywhere, like whether it's his fault or not. And it's like since June 1st, we've had 7 races at all different types of places. He doesn't have a finish better than 23rd. And in those same races, Zane's finished top 15 4 different times. So, I mean, he's the one that's just kind of surviving and getting these finishes on all different types of racetracks. So I really don't care where it is right now. I just want to kind of take the guy who's being way more consistent when we're just trying to earn points here for this game. He's got a better, if we do look at the stats, though, he does have a better true performance score and a better incident adjusted speed score on win the race than Noah Gragson, who's, the other person we're looking at here. So, it's funny that we just don't even mention Gilliland in this conversation.
I just wanted to pile on the Zane talk, just a little bit of an offshoot here. So we talked on the NASCAR betting preview show last year about how Zane kind of got screwed out of his contract and his ride, which was Spire, but it was proxy to Trackhouse, and Trackhouse made a decision to go with SVG. I just want to say, like, it seems to me like that might be working out best for both worlds, because Trackhouse made a great business decision. Clearly, like that is working out exactly the way they wanted it to. But Zane, I know he feels more home at Front Row because he raced trucks in that organization, but it's kind of like a resume builder. Like he's doing a lot with very little. And if I'm a bigger team, I'm taking note. So I think this is a good resume builder for him. So like I said, kind of a good outcome for both sides there. But
you're the truck guy. He's got 1 race here in the trucks in 2020 and beat the hell out of everybody. So, good to see he can boogie around this track. Tino, you're up. Who do you got for Front Row?
So this would be a spot where I normally would be different, but the stakes are very high, fellas. This is the winner take all show. This is you win this draft this week, you have the lead in the standings. So because of that, I'm going Zane Smith. Maybe the way I was talking, thought I was going to throw a curveball, but I can't do it just yet. I really and I want to. My thought process was potentially going Noah Gragson, seeing which way you guys were leaning, but I just have to sort of defend here, and you guys brought up good points as well. And the only thing I really had for Gragson was 2 things. One, and Phil mentioned it, he had a strong finish here last year, top 10, started 5th, finished 6th, I believe. But another thing with him would be that, yes, with these Front Row guys, it's been like a cycle where it's like Zane Smith's been the guy. Now I think it can switch over to Gragson, but I'm not willing to. I want to win this week, so I'm just gonna keep it with Zane Smith and move on to HMS.
All right, well, we're going to let you move on to HMS. You can lead it off here. I think, we get to this big 3 stretch right now, especially these next 2 teams. I mean, there's just so many different ways to go here. We have 8 drivers with this next 2 picks, and you could make an argument for all of them, I think. So, Tino, why don't you go ahead and lead it off then with Hendrick?
My first argument is going to be for NASCAR's most popular driver in Chase Elliott. He's my favorite Hendrick Motorsports driver of the week right now. When we go to this type of racetrack, last year specifically, started 29th, and they've been struggling with qualifying, I feel like, at times throughout this season already, but finished 5th. And to me, at a place like Dover, where we didn't really see much passing last year, where it was Denny, MTJ, Larson throughout the whole thing, sure, maybe Kyle Larson could be the P1 right now, but with his struggles, I expected him to be out of that at Sonoma, to be at least maybe not contending for the win with SVG, but at least up there, and he just wasn't. So I want a guy that has momentum. That's Chase Elliott. Finished 5th here last year, like I mentioned, won back in 2022, finished 3rd when they had the 1, 2, 3, 4 year in 2021. And I just feel like this may be one of his better tracks. When we look at Bristol as well, or just any other comparable track to this, which is hard to find a lot of them, Chase has excelled at most of those that we've seen as well. So give me Chase Elliott to be the first Hendrick Motorsports driver I picked tonight.
Nice. Phil, who do you have here for HMS?
Yeah, I'm a little let down because Elliott is where I was going too. So with all of those reasons, first an average finish here, and I love when tracks match up with a driver, and this track just does. I think it was Brian in the chat say like top Chevy for him. That makes sense. The thing that is interesting about Chase's history here, he's got 14 starts. He's got a couple wins, but 10 top 5s and 10 top 10s. So like if he's good, he's very good. So to me, that makes it, more willing to take a top 5 number on him. Because, like I said, if he's running fast and he's going to be up there. So yeah, Elliott is the pick. I wish I could be different here. But maybe we'll take some more Hendrick guys later.
Well, yeah. And this might be different, but only for now, but I'm going to go with William Byron as my pick. Man, he's just been so fast in this package all year long. And then he goes out late in qualifying. So does Chase Elliott. We always, obviously we have real data on that this year, that going out late in qualifying has benefited these drivers. Especially now, like with this new tire and stuff, or like how the track changes, like these guys are going to have notes that are going out late and possibly running just the best line possible. And he's been a threat at Dover. Like we talk about how unique this track is. 2023 started 8th, led 193 laps in that race, finished 4th. Last year started 3rd, finished stage 1 in 2nd place, leading 36 more laps. He didn't finish that race though. But now you look at this year in this package, only 2 drivers in those 10 races have a single-digit average running position, and William Byron's one of them. So my thinking here, again, like I know this is a horse for the course type of track. I get it, but I don't think Byron isn't that. And he's just been way faster than Elliott everywhere they've been in this package all season long. So I just got to follow the speed here and go with William Byron. I'll lead right into my next pick. I think this one, there are 4 different ways you can go here, but I think there is one super chalky one, and then maybe we'll switch it up for the big 3. But I got to go Denny Hamlin to lead it off here for JGR. I don't think this is a big shocker. He's the favorite on every book to win the race. I think it's like either him or Larson. So I mentioned Byron being, one of 2 drivers, single-digit average running position in this package throughout the 10 races on all different types of tracks. Denny Hamlin's the other guy. So it's just been these 2 have been lights out all year long. And he's dominant here in Gen 7 Dover races. In 2022, he starts 2nd, wins stage 1, leads 67 laps. He was caught speeding late in that race, and that hurt his finish. 2023 finishes stage 1 and 2 inside the top 5, finishes 5th. 2024, we know he leads 136 laps, wins the race. So, another thing I like to see too is I don't think this tire will be anything like what we saw at Bristol 1 last year, but we mentioned Bristol for this track, and who was the best when we had a new tire and people had to figure it out? Denny. He went out, figured it out, won the race. So I just kind of like him when a new aspect like that comes into play. Guys like him have just so many laps put in at Dover throughout their long career. I think if you throw any twist at him, he could, be the one to figure it out. So give me Denny here. Tino, I'm going to jump back to you.
Yeah, the alternative play, I'm going Denny as well, so you can put Denny down. But my second option here would be the Chase Briscoe. And this is a major tip of the cap to Phil last weekend. And as he won because of this play with Chase Briscoe last week, I just wanted to throw that out there because I was thinking about him. I don't I could be going with them, but probably not, since I already picked Denny and we have big three left, but I'm thinking of someone else as of now. But my point is with
Got the wild
Chase
card too.
Briscoe. Yeah. So there, I'll never say never, but just with Chase Briscoe last weekend, Phil, that was his play and he called it out. But the similarities to the Truex, data and setup and everything, and James Small and everything that they could do for him, and to turn Chase Briscoe's worst track into a second place finish that is to SVG was awesome to see last weekend. I'm really excited to see what they do at Dover this weekend because of all of that. So I'm still going Denny because of the chance it may not transfer this weekend, but I was just really, really impressed with what I saw last week.
Yeah, it feels like in the beginning of the year, we saw those interviews with Briscoe where he just said, man, I'm really not comfortable driving this car. And then, we talked about it last week. It's like maybe he's past that. Maybe he's turned the corner. Now if he's comfortable in this car, we know that team can bring the speed. So, Phil, who do you got here for JGR?
Yeah. I think I'll be talking about Briscoe later for that reason, but we'll see. But I can't be different with Hamlin. I mean, somebody just said in the chat, who is it? Yeah, Kyle. Denny's going to SVG us this week. I would be silly to not take Denny here and try to be different in this matchup. I'll also call this out because I'm sure the topic might get brought up, but Larson versus Hamlin is -115 on Bovada. At least it was earlier. And I was looking at that. I mean, it seems like they would be like super even, but it really, like they do start to, you see separation with Denny as you dig into some of the numbers here. And when the race has Denny as actually a surprisingly large favorite head to head there. So just throwing that, matchup out there if anybody wanted that. I know it's a little uncomfortable because they're both awesome, but I think it just speaks to how good Denny is coming into this week at this track. So yeah, not much more to say as far as stats. He's one to watch for sure.
Well, let's lead it right into your shirt and your pick for Penske. And I'll go ahead. I mean, I'm just going to give you the floor, but I'm going to write it in here. I'm Ryan Blaney. You're Ryan Blaney. Tino, are you Ryan Blaney?
Got to be Ryan Blaney.
So we're all Ryan Blaney here. I think the chat agrees. When the race has Ryan Blaney bet at 9-1. Yeah, and then Greg put in Discord earlier that he's kind of laddering it up here with the top 5 and top 3 for Ryan Blaney as well. I forget what book that is. You'd have to go in Discord and check it out. It was a book that I don't have in New York, unfortunately, so I'm not riding with, but I'll be rooting on the team. Phil, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, man. Blaney is one that I called out on my pod as an outright. I had him at plus 850. I heard Ryan, you had said you got him at a little bit better number, but just seems like to me, when I'm looking at the numbers, the way I spelled it out was I need 3 checkpoints hit, and he checks all of these boxes. So the first one is, at a unique racetrack with Dover, the way it is, I need somebody that has shown competency, shown improvement, shown that they can drive here. And he's got 14 career starts with no wins. So that kind of scares you off. 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, but in the next gen car, finished 26 in 2022. I'm not sure what happened there. 3rd the year after that, 7th last year. He's 5th in speed rating. He was 1st in speed rating in that 2023 race. So like a good next gen notebook, like next gen has treated him well here. He's been a threat. He's been in the conversation, maybe more so than he had been earlier in his career. So that's one checkbox. Like Dover next gen seems to have a good notebook is the way I put it on this racetrack. Great. So then you're looking at those 3 comp tracks that I mentioned earlier. His average finish is only behind Denny. It's 3.7. He's got a win in 3 top 5 finishes at Darlington, Bristol, and Nashville. Hell yeah. And then if you're looking at the full intermediate package, he's tied for 3rd in speed rating, just raw speed overall this season on those intermediate tracks. So boom, boom, boom. It's tough to find drivers that check all of those boxes, honestly, like, because there are flaws in a lot of these guys, even the bigger names. So Ryan Blaney felt like a good shirt week, so if he can't get it done, hopefully I can get it done in the draft and the magic continues. But I think, for good reason. And I'm glad that other people kind of agree. I see Greg in the chat. He's definitely into Blaney this week as well. So hopefully we can win some money together on the 12 car. Because he deserves it after last week. He got screwed.
Yeah, big. Yeah, he was, man, what a What a
Got my
fast
body
car they
armor
brought
here.
to Sonoma.
Body
Yeah,
armor.
fast car in Sonoma too. That was fun to see for Blaney. Really unfortunate how that ended for him. The true performance scores we had on those tracks too: Bristol, Darlington, Nashville, second, first. I mean, just dude's unreal. The other thing too is like even if he goes out early qualifying, but even if that happens, he's been able to pass in this package everywhere we've been. Like he's the
Exactly.
guy,
Yeah.
especially if we do get these long runs. Like he's the guy where everyone starts falling off. He's coming up through the field. So if we do get long green flag runs, love Ryan Blaney. Awesome pick. So who do we start with here? The big three. The big three is going to be interesting between this and the wild card between I think Hendricks and JGR. We'll see what happens.
A winner gets made
Um,
with this pick. I think that's my. I'm calling my shot here.
Wow.
I think the winner of the draft will come from the big three.
all right. Who wants to go first? You want? Mine's pretty easy, basic.
All right. Well, let's see the basic then.
All right. So the basic bitch answer here is Kyle Larson.
Okay.
I'm not gonna deny how good I think he's the other guy. He proved it last year. That's like Blaney, where like if he gets stuck, I do think he can work his way through the field. He is. I wouldn't say Dover is one of his best tracks, like one that we're like used to him seeing like ripping the high line, like Homestead or somewhere like that. But it's a good one for him. The only worry here, I think, is that he's going out early in qualifying. So, if you do get stuck in traffic, sometimes things could be out of your control that would hurt your race. That would be the only thing I might worry about. I know some people too are really thinking like, he's taking that summer break or he's just kind of not there right now. I don't subscribe to that. I don't think that's the case. I mean, if that was the case, then why was William Byron so fast last week? Wouldn't he be on summer break out in Sonoma? But it didn't really seem like he was out on summer break out in Sonoma. So I don't know, man. I just think this sets up really well for a Kyle Larson comeback. And you want to talk about dominant, if we're going to even talk about Bristol, then why are we not talking about Kyle Larson? Dude just mopped everyone there twice in a row. So it's not even close either. So, I mean, I don't know. I think this is like a get right spot for Kyle Larson. It's the only reason. Like, I'm not taking any of these low numbers. I took Byron at 850 and I took Blaney at 9 only because we showed really good value on that. And also because it's on a book that I can't really get down full units on anyway. So it's just kind of a little sprinkle before practice and qualifying to wet my beak a little, I guess. But I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you guys say about this summer break thing. Tino, we'll kick it to you, but I got Kyle Larson here.
I like the Kyle Larson pick. I'm going to go different, and I'm going to go with the driver that Austin G shouted out, Alex Bowman. Come on! He's a monster at this mile. The last few finishes for AB here, an 8th, 5th, 1st, 5th, 21st, doesn't matter, 3rd and 2nd. All of these times he's leading laps. He's finishing high up in the stages. He's the second third best driver in terms of average finishing position in the next gen era at this track, which I like a lot. And this is what I want. A lot of people out there who may be thinking Kyle Larson or William Byron, which is you, Ryan, and I do agree with your thought process. But this is his chance. I'm telling you what, right now, Alex Bowman does not make the playoffs without a win. He's 15th in the playoff standings right now, only plus 32 to the cut line. I think Reddick is good at 13th, but I still think we get 1 to 2 new winners. Honestly, Kyle Busch for sure. But my point is, I think Alex Bowman's gonna have to win a race, and if he's gonna have to win a race, I think it's gonna have to come at this track. This is the craziest thing I'm gonna say, and chat, let me know how crazy I am. If there's a situation where Chase Elliott, William Byron, or Kyle Larson are ahead of Alex Bowman, I don't think they will be at the end of the race.
Wow. Well,
I believe that.
this is what makes this cool. Like, this is why I thought that between Hendrick, JGR, the big three, the wild card, there's just too many guys to pick. Bowman's got, you mentioned it. He's got 5 top 5 finishes in his last 7 races here. Even when he didn't race here and his car did with Josh Berry, finished top 10.
Yes. Great
So
point.
It didn't even need Bowman in it. It just drove itself like Lightning McQueen. Top 10.
I'm scared. And I want to also put this out there. There's been times on this show this season I've picked Bowman and I've had his back and he's done me dirty. So if he does me dirty this week, I will never, ever go back to him.
That's how I feel about Reddick. Reddick's like,
Mhm.
there's some dead to me on this list here. Reddick's the main one though. We might get to an RFK guy too, but Reddick dead to me. All right, cool. We're different there so far. The big three. Phil, are we going to be different yet again here?
Dude, I'm in shock, honestly, because Tino and I have the same team right now. And I thought for sure I was going to be the only one taking Alex Bowman, but he's clearly not flying below the radar. This is a great comment by Big Ross.
Big Ross.
I had a lot of bets too on win the race today. Bowman was plus 350, plus 375 out there for top fives, plus 125 for a top 10. I think Greg put in Discord.
Yeah.
So
the books are sleeping on
Bowman
him.
Lines.
The books are sleeping on him for sure. I mean, you mentioned, the top 10 even, right? He's 6 of 7 top 10, 5 of 7 top 5. He's a threat. And I mean, I was trying to be different. Bowman's my pick. I mean, I hate to let folks down, and me and Tino, I don't see where we're going to be different looking at the rest of this board.
Hey, I'll tie with you if you want.
Wild card.
I can't afford another tie.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're picking Kyle Busch for the wild card, you'll be different.
Well, that's true. I know I'm taking a wild card. So, Bowman's the pick for those reasons, man. And I have him for a top 10. And you guys are kind of talking him into a top 5 pick as well. And I guess I'm apprehensive with Larson. Like, I see his numbers at Dover. They're amazing. But I don't necessarily think that he's in a slump or he's going to pull like a Byron Summer like he has done the last few years. But it's just weird, like wonky situations where like he's just mid-pack in races that he has dominated the past. So I don't know. I got to see it to believe it, and it burns me and it wins you this one, Ryan. Then so be it. I'll be 1 point back.
I will say this real quick, and chat. I want to know what the chat thinks about my comment here as well. So let us know in the chat. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have the pairing of William Byron, Kyle Larson, or Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman this weekend at Dover? Because to Phil's point, I agree that Kyle Larson could just be his normal self, lead every lap. But at that point, I'm still scared about Byron. So I think I like my Elliott Bowman here better than
I think it's like what it comes down to really is, are you following the speed that we've seen this year, or are you following the track history? Which one are you on? Are you on the courses for the horse, or the horses for the courses? What am I trying to say here? I've only had half a Diet Coke. So
it made sense to me.
Yeah, well, horses for the course or the speed that we've seen all season long. 10 races in this package at all different tracks. I mean, 2 guys are clearly ahead, but 2 guys I think are clearly ahead as far as the track history goes. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree with you,
Phil. I'm going to let you lead off RFK. I think that's there's no wrong answer here either. But go ahead. Who do you got here for RFK?
I would say there's a wrong answer.
Brad?
But, no, Priest.
Wow.
Priest has been dog shit here, but
you won't like my answer though.
Oh, good. No, I do like it. Take it. I'm gonna go with Buscher. Just kind of put one in the fairway at 150, stick one on the green, 2-putt your way to par. Like that's a Chris Buscher pick this week. I mean, if he finishes 11th, I'm fine with it. I think he beats both his teammates in that case. He's got 8th, 9th, and 17th in the next gen car. Speed's been top 10 as well. Just kind of okay, and he's not lighting anybody's world on fire with the speed on the comp tracks. Intermediate package, he's been okay. Been top 10 in speed this year. So the fact is, just better than his teammates overall at this racetrack. Speed this year just seems like, to me, I'm interested to hear the pick for Priest, or the case for Priest, because maybe he can convince me into throwing some money down on him. But Buscher just seems like the safe pick. Like I said, easy swing, take your par and move on.
All right. I will. I mean, I can't go wrong with that. They were actually my only two. Brad was my throwaway, so I just was not interested in Brad K. At all, really. And so Priest for me, and these guys all go off in the second half, like the later part of qualifying here, which I like to see for all the RFK guys. Priest goes off, I think, just after Busher, and he goes off last of the 3-man group there. What I like about that is like maybe he gets a little note, maybe he picks up a little something about where his teammates are running and can run a little better line in qualifying and qualify well for this race. Um, they'll all have similar track conditions. They're all within 5 spots qualifying from one another. Um, but he only had one race here with Stuart Haas. Started 30th, finished 17th. I think that's respectable with how that team was running. But again, like you said, like SHR, they brought decent cars here. Graxon had a good finish, and talked about Josh Berry, or we didn't in this car, but Josh Berry finished like 12th or 14th or something last year. Um, he even has top 20 finishes here in 2 of his 5 races with JTG. But if you look at this package as a whole, like 10 races in this package, all different types of tracks, he's got 6 top 10s. The only person who's got more top 10s than that is Kyle Larson with 8. So he's finding the finishes. Well, it's just like what we used to say with Busher. It's like when Busher was like kind of fast, but not the fastest, he was just finding a way through strategy and whatever else to get good finishes. And Busher's doing that again this year. He's got I think he's got the 4th best average finish in those 10 races. So it was between Priest or Busher. And the reason I picked Priest was to be different here. I didn't know I'd already be different, but I probably should have seen that coming with no Bowman or Elliott. Um, but yeah, give me Priest. I don't know. The finishes are there. So whether they're completely deserved or not, I don't know. He's getting them. And I think at a track like this, it's a mile long. It's not necessarily a short track, but I think Priest is pretty good on a banked shorter track, at least historically. He's good on the short flats too. He's just kind of like a short track guy, and it's only a mile long. The finishes are there. Give me Priest. I really got nothing else that's like hard evidence to back him. I'm not putting my life on it, but if I caught like a 3-1 top 10 or something out there, I might bet it. I just haven't seen it yet. Tino, what do you got?
Well, we were looking for a difference maker between Tino and Phil. We got it. Ryan Priest for Tino Patino as well here.
Let's go.
I feel confident in him, and it's funny because I maybe shouldn't be as much as I am. In terms of overall speed recently, it's Ryan Priest. That's hard to say because Busher has been there too, and he's a guy that we expect to get a win. But Priest has impressed me from a road course standpoint, which is where we've been the last 5 weeks, or it feels like that at least. So from that standpoint, everything's telling me this is a spot where Priest can have a good shot at a high finish. From another standpoint, I'm also looking at this new tire. I believe Ryan Priest is a driver that can, if we're on a track like this with a new tire, get the most out of a long run or preserve his stuff the best. So that's another thing I'm kind of banking on, although you did mention he has the finishes, but Busher just is better. So I'm sort of hoping that maybe, Priest could just have a strong run, maybe get some points somewhere that Busher doesn't, because that does matter in here as well. And that's another thing that I feel like goes underrated potentially in this game. I know we talk about points a lot when we're picking these drivers, but if someone flips a stage or someone gets some extra points here, which is big with a driver that's on the cut line like Ryan Priest in the playoffs right now, I think that's where a situation could be where we find more points than Busher in this one for Priest.
Yeah, I think like it's just I keep saying it, but it's like the finishes are there. These are the guys that have 6 top 10s with him in the 10 races in this package. Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney, and then the only one with more is Kyle Larson. So it's just a group of people that he's finding a way to finish where they are. It's kind of weird. I don't expect him to be in the hunt to win this race, but I mean, the more that I think about it, it might just be like more of a gut type play, but I like that the top 10 lines that are out there for him. Um, Now let's switch it up here and head back to Chevy with Spire and talk about a guy who can't finish anywhere, and that is Carson Hocevar. So again, I have to take him here only because, to me, this team sucks here. Like this was you could just flip a coin, 3-sided coin. You're going to be wrong every time. I pick Carson Hocevar. His speed is not even close to the other two drivers on this team. So that's all I'm going to go by. Again, 10 different races, all different tracks, but the same, intermediate package. He is light years ahead of these guys that are his teammates, Michael McDowell and Justin Haley. So give me Carson Hocevar. Really, he goes off early in qualifying. That kind of sucks, but man, he has just been so much faster. So give me that. I have to stick with him here. Phil, we're going to jump back to you. Who do you got?
Yeah, Hocevar is who I had written down. And it's funny because I directly compare him. I kind of throw Justin Haley out. But Haley's actually like better than McDowell. If it was between Haley and McDowell, I'd probably go with McDowell, or excuse me, Haley. Just because we've seen better numbers from him this year on some of those three comp tracks we keep mentioning. McDowell's just not been good, and he starts really well too, but just has not gotten finishes. Whereas, you go to Hocevar, 32nd at Darlington. I think he had some issues there, but then started 9th, finished 11th, average running position 6.8 at Bristol. Love to see that. And then started 26th, finished 2nd at Nashville. So yeah, there's potential for Hocevar. Just going off of those, I know it's a unique racetrack, and now I'm going apples to oranges a little bit, but I like Hocevar this week in this draft. And I think, see how he handles the new tire, right? That, young drivers, this tire is going to put, we don't make a huge deal about this thing, but like it kind of puts everyone on an even playing surface a little bit, learning something new altogether. So I think that kind of brings some of the younger guys, down with the veterans. So Hocevar is my pick.
One interesting note that I had on this team as a whole, in those 10 races in the intermediate package this year, all three of them have an average finish worse than 20th.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's pretty pathetic in a 10 race sample. Like, good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think for the longest time we were saying like Justin Haley's the only one with a top 10 finish in this package, and we would never pick him. And now I think they all only have one each, but still, yikes with this.
Haley ran really well at, I guess it was Bristol. Started 10th, ran in top 10 all day, finished 13th. Like that was his race that was really good. But yeah.
All right, Tino, I'm going to let you take Spire here and then head right into best of rest, because then we're going to loop it back down and around, and you're going to get the last wild card pick. So go ahead. Who do you got for Spire here?
Perfect. So I'll keep it short here with Spire. Going to go Carson Hocevar as well. This is a spot where I cannot be different. I want to shout out everyone. Check out my Justin Haley shirt. I thought this was pretty cool from the Swamp Rabbits. I had a buddy that actually, at the time that Justin Haley ran this car in 2020, was working for the Swamp Rabbits, and I had never heard of the Swamp Rabbits in my life. So it was like a cool thing. Went and got the shirt, but it does say 77 on it. So we're gonna have to go with Hocevar. When it comes to speed, and I do, and that was a good Bristol call out that you mentioned, Phil, with Haley, because I remember he was like one of the first drivers to, have the nuts to go first and actually like try out that tire when everyone was a little scared earlier on this season. But for Hocevar specifically, I just can't. If he does bring the speed, I expect him to just be way better than McDowell and Haley at this track. So I can't really pivot. Although at the same time, there's a chance where he just doesn't. And then I'm laughing at Big Ross's comment here where Justin Haley killed a rabbit during the race at Sonoma. Well, we'll see if that's a good omen or a bad one. And now, so we're going best of the rest here. And this is a driver I'm sure you guys are talking about as well, but I'll lead him off. Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain's got to be the best of the rest for me here, just because he is simply that at this track, the best of the rest. I'll go through his finishes for you guys as well. Last year finished 12th, but to me, last year was Trackhouse's off year. I'll give them that. They really did not have the same speed. They were struggling in a bunch of different areas. Before that, second place when he led 98 laps, finished 5th and 1st. I believe that was the same race where he took out Kyle Larson, and that was during his Ross Chastain Devil era and everything like that. And then, or maybe he took out, it wasn't Larson, but he took out Poole that went into Larson, et cetera, et cetera. Then 2022 finished 3rd, led 86 laps in that one. To me, I think he gets back to that, especially where we see the speed he's had at Nashville before. If he doesn't, oh well, but I assume with him having the best average finish in the next gen era at this racetrack, that's something you guys would be thinking about as well.
Yeah, Phil, so you guys are only one driver different here Did you have Ross Chastain here?
I did have Ross Chastain, and you know what? Like, to me, I'm gonna play the game here a little bit. Like, I'm gonna go with Ross.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my gut because I like where we're different. To be quite honest with you,
I had Ross too.
Okay, like if I'm only different at the moment, and it's Buscher versus Priest, I like where I'm at.
Yeah. You hate
So
Priest.
yeah, I kind of do. So hopefully, hopefully I'm
Fair
right.
enough.
And if I eat crow, I'll go down with the ship. But yeah, Chastain, man. And I actually was, I got an inkling on who Tino might take in the wild card, and I was thinking about it, just to kind of play some mind games here. But I actually took on my podcast and officially Chastain over said driver, who we may talk about. Even though Chastain was, much shorter number. I like Chastain a lot this week in that head-to-head matchup, and he's definitely one to watch for other bets as well. So, yeah, you mentioned a lot of his numbers, and I can't be different.
One thing I love too is double duty. So, I think Ross is one of those guys where his camp targets these tracks throughout the season that they think he has a shot at, and he goes out and runs double duty. Worked for Charlotte, won that race.
Yep.
Ran trucks at Michigan, finished 6th in the Cup Series. Ran Xfinity for Coda, Darlington, and Nashville. So again, like funny, Darlington, Nashville. What did we mention for Dover? Finished 7th and 11th in those Cup races. So I kind of like the extra time on the track for Chastain anytime we see it.
Yes.
So
Great mention there. I was going to say that as well. And for anyone else out there, I did eat watermelon today.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
We love that. We love the extracurricular stuff.
I became allergic to watermelon at like age 38. Like I can't eat it anymore. And it's such like a nice, like today was 90 degrees out. Like watermelon would be great today. Can't eat it anymore. It's driving me nuts. So I don't know.
You're
Kids eat
serious?
a lot of it. Yeah, it closes
Oh,
up my throat now.
I thought you were making it. I thought you were making a joke that like Ross Chastain like pissed you off enough where you just don't like watermelon.
No,
You're
I'm not
like
allergic.
You physically can't eat it.
I'm not allergic to the melon man. I'm allergic to literal watermelon. So
wow, that's wild. Okay.
Let me ask you this too. I got another little sidebar here. Do you think that the melon man is now the mellow man? You like that?
Oh,
good one.
There we go.
That edge is gone. At least from what I've seen. Like he's not doing what he used to do. And I know the team has changed. They got a new, road courses are done, but they got a new sheriff in town when those come around. But it's like, is he mellowed out? Is he no longer doing? Did he do too many things to too many people to where someone said something to him and now he's just not that guy? Because I feel like we're not seeing it anymore. And he had that like almost like that Carson Hocevar type feel to him when he first came up, and he was battling for leads and winning more when that happened as well. So I don't know. I just thought that was my corny 40-year-old man joke I could make tonight. Maybe it's true.
Well, I like what Channy said here because you think Carson Hocevar took his spot. I agree with that, and I also agree with what Phil said. Was we did see it. We saw it in Chicago when he just wrecked Joey Logano for no reason, but we see like spurts of it at the wrong times. I feel like we see that version of Ross where he's not mellow man. Because and then Greg said, "Don't compare aggression with stupid," and it's also a fair point. And I do like what Kyle said. Ross got smacked by Rick Hendrick, but that's what it seems like, right? When he had that mishap at Darlington, which took out Larson and Elliott ended up, or no, someone else was in that. I remember it was just a bad look for him. But that was the same type of move he pulled on William Byron at Charlotte, and they just didn't wreck. So he's there, but he's definitely more mellow than he has been melon, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think he's lost a little bit of speed. Like definitely was faster when I think more people have caught on. We had a couple different body changes throughout the Gen 7 era here for the Ford and for Toyota. So I think teams caught on as well. So maybe that lost some of their edge that they had when they first started in the Gen 7 races in 2022. Yeah. But just probably a combo of both, but I do think he's been a little more mellow. So he's the mellow man to me now. But I still am not allergic to him. So we'll pick Ross
Here's
Chastain across the board.
one last thing about Chastain for Sunday. I mean, his qualifying efforts this season, despite having like good finishes on those comp tracks and in this package, his qualifying has not gone very well. And so just keep that in mind, because if you're looking to bet him, maybe wait a little bit, because if you like him for a top 10, maybe the books give us a little bit of a discount on race day when he's starting 21st.
Yeah, 14-1 right now to win, which I feel like is value already. So to see that potentially go up, to your point, Phil, could be big. And then I'll answer this one last question here with Chastain, since we've been talking about him. Channy says, if Trackhouse finds more speed, will he bring more aggression? I'm gonna say yes to that, because one thing I wanted to mention about this new version of Chastain is I think that lack of speed that we've seen recently from Trackhouse, because they were one of the top premier teams in this new next gen era, right? And Ryan, you mentioned it, when the changes were made, like they lost some speed, but I think other teams caught up to them. Maybe they're a little bit more even, and obviously the top tier teams, JGR, HMS, Penske, are going to be the big dogs out of that. My thing is this. So yes, if Trackhouse brings more speed, he will be more aggressive, because where I think he's the most aggressive is in blocking and being the most defensive driver in the field. I've heard a lot of guys say that he's the hardest guy to pass. I think he used to be the hardest guy to sort of just pass other people, because, or however you want to phrase that, where you just knock them out of the way. We don't have the speed to do that anymore, especially with these aero blocking stuff. So I feel like if he's in a, 5th to 10th place car, he's going to be in whatever spot he's in because of the, his ability to block and sort of move around other guys to make sure they don't pass him. But yeah,
That's a good point. He can also afford to be more aggressive because he's already in the playoffs. So it's like he doesn't need to just drive around and be careful, point his way to anything.
I like that
He
point too.
can go out there and try to win.
Already being locked in for Dover, we haven't seen yet, I don't think, for at least recently, for Chastain.
All right, well, let's move on to the wild card round here. I'm going to go ahead and make my pick first, because we're going to go across the board here. Tino's getting the last pick of the wild card round. I'm going to start off with someone I've been picking a lot lately, and it's Christopher Bell. I thought this would switch it up a little bit, because I thought you guys might be, I did Briscoe cross my mind that you guys might pick him. Tino's been picking a lot of Ty Gibbs and Kyle Busch lately, so I thought maybe one of those two, a third HMS guy. But yeah, give me Christopher Bell. This is just kind of like a gut feeling I have. He's going off late in qualifying. We know he can qualify really well. This number's been smoked out, but took him to beat, I think, Keselowski in qualifying head-to-head on Caesars earlier this week. And he, I think people forget, he was once the absolute man here in Xfinity at Dover, just beating the crap out of everyone. If tires do matter too, Bell is one that I do like. We see it when tires matter on long runs. He can maintain his stuff, pass guys in the long run. If the track is slick at all, Bell's another guy that I like. He just has that in him. I think he controls his car much better than others and can kind of afford a slick track. He never had a fair, shot at a race last year, but the years before had finishes of 4th and 6th. So I don't know. I mentioned earlier too, 6 top 10s in the 10 races in this package, second to only Larson. So we're trying to point it here. I'm trying to get to the lead of this draft finally this year. Just want a points man. Give me Christopher Bell, who I think has the upside to even, win here too. So give me Christopher Bell. Phil, who do you got here for wild card?
Well, I kind of, alluded to it. I am going to go with Chase Briscoe, and it's the same formula that we talked about last week. He got it done for me last week. First of all, I want to comment on the Christopher Bell pick, sneaky pick. That could win the draft right there if he shows up and he's fast. So to snag him in a wild card, I think that's actually really great. But Chase Briscoe, people were on him. Like last night, I wrote notes down for my podcast and I took bets. And I got him at plus 120 on Bet365. And then, woke up, was planning on waking up super early to record, and it had already got changed all the way down to -120 on that same book. So like people were definitely, that was for a top 10. So people were definitely focusing on Briscoe. And I think it's, for good reason here. I mean, the formula is lately when we go to a track that Truex has been good at, Briscoe has been able to do good things. Pocono got it done. Last week at Sonoma, unbelievable run for him, second. And did you see his tweet, by the way? Like 36 race cars, one rocket ship. We beat all the race cars.
Yeah. I like
That was
that.
great
Yeah.
quote. But then we go to Dover, and Truex was always so good at Dover. 4 wins, 11 top 5s, 20 top 10s, and 34 starts. So this is another formula where here we go. Can he continue that? Can this 19 team continue to elevate Chase Briscoe's talents with their notes? I think it's a great case study for other drivers, joining other teams in the future. And so it's really great. How about if we get rained out to Monday? Will the Monday Martin stuff come into play? Can they rewrap that car into an Autotrader's car or something? I don't know. But anyway, Briscoe doesn't have the numbers here. He's got a 13th place finish in next gen. That's his best, in SHR equipment. But how about this season on those 3 comps? He's pretty good at starting. He's got a pole at Nashville, 6.5 average starting position. He does have a top 5 finish to show for it in one of those 3 races. So yeah, Briscoe with the 19, it's been working. They're really starting to click and get momentum. So here we go again. Briscoe, can he get it done for me? Second week in a row.
Yeah, he goes out late. He should be qualifying really well. Someone mentioned in Discord earlier this week that they heard Harvick say this, and I didn't hear the quote or know what it was exactly, but that Harvick said with the Toyota body changes last year, he thought Toyota really had an advantage in aero. I don't know if that'll come into play. I don't even know if it's true, but if it is, Denny Hamlin won the race, dominated it. So it's like, I don't know. Interesting here that we both go Toyota. And it leaves it up to Tino to make his mark here. Try to keep your lead, your narrow lead in the draft.
I've been watching it
who do you
slip
have
away
here?
week by week. For those of you who don't know, I know, and I've been watching it happen. I've been a part of the game. I've been a part of the draft. I had a 7-3 lead, 7-3. You guys have brought it all the way back to 7 and 2 6.5s. Just tip of the cap to you guys.
Almost 2 months.
I haven't won in a long time,
Yeah.
and I'm in it to win it. And this next pick is going to prove that. I'm not going to apologize for it. I don't care what anyone thinks about it. I'm standing 10 toes. I give you 5, 10 fingers, 20 phalanges total on the ground for you guys with this next pick. And I'm going to lead, not Kyle Busch, which shows how serious I am. Big Ross mentioned in the chat, dirt guys on concrete, usually a good combo. Now, I thought about that,
no. This isn't good for me.
And this is someone that I was going to pick in the big 3. But as the showman who picked Bowman for the big 3, I thought to myself, what would be better than holding out for the very last pick with the greatest driver in the world? And that's Kyle Larson. I'm not sorry about it. I'm not mad about it. I'm happy about it because I think I can go out and see him dominate. I was throwing the smoke screens like, oh, I'd rather have Bowman and Elliott. No, I'd rather have Bowman, Elliott, and Larson. Come on. I win again this week. I need it. I need 8 wins. I need to get my lead back. And this is it. The Monster Miles turned me into a monster, and this is Kyle Larson's time, or it's Bowman's time, or it's Elliott's time. But I think my whole lineup is set. I'm locked in, and I need to bring home a win for the first time since May 26th, which was Phil and I's birthday. So I'm as you can see, I'm fired up about it. The concrete, the dirt drivers being good on that, his domination at Bristol, and the very last point is the new tire. If anyone's going to be able to beat Denny Hamlin on that, from all those standpoints, it's going to have to be Kyle Larson. I think he is the driver that manages his stuff the best. If they're slipping and sliding, if tires make a difference, I think it's Kyle Larson.
That
Well
is
done. Well
awesome.
done. That
Well
was well
done,
done.
my friend. Yeah,
It looked like you were
that was
sunburned
good.
again.
Yeah, I
Yeah, you
turned
brought
red.
the energy. That was awesome.
Red Hulk.
I'll tell you this. That was great playing the game because I had chalked in Kyle Busch for you in the wild card spot, and it didn't even like occur to me that you could snag Larson at the end. And I hate cheering against Larson. So
Yeah.
now I have to if I'm gonna win. So great job. Well played.
Thank you.
That's
Appreciate
awesome. I love Chris here. Tuned up Tino.
it. Yeah, Chris joined at 9. I saw Chris say, "What's up?" He joined 9:32, and I was like, "All right, watch this, Chris. We're gonna go crazy."
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Tino. Thank you, Phil, for making this fun as always. It's going to be a great week to text each other, on Sunday with everything going on here, see who can take the lead. Um, and then thanks to everyone who wrote in the chat. Triple digit number of comments again is always fun to see. Keeps it lively. Love the questions. Love the interactions. All great stuff. Again, all the stats that I rip off and most of us are ripping off all night long. Win the race, 40% off through the rest of the year, $30 a month. Get all the good stuff, betting, DFS, everything that's fun with NASCAR. Stats too, if you just want to dork out. So, Tino, where can everyone find your good work?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate everyone in the chat. First, I got to shout all of them out. Team 54. He's saying the monster scheme at the Monster Mile to destroy the whole draft. Hey, I'm rooting for you, buddy, as always, but I'm mostly just rooting for my draft this week. So shout out to Team 54. Kermit coming in here, electric. Hashtag Team Tino. Let's go, Kermit. Pause 1 second for me. Kermit, I got something for you here.
He is electric.
Kermit the Frog. So, I mean,
Let's go.
this is what I needed. This is exactly what I needed. Shout out Kermit. Shout out Kyle. Shout out Brian. Great content from them as always. Chris, Robert, Channy, everyone in the chat. Greg's in there. Big Ross, of course, had some funny comments. Oh, one other thing I did want to mention. We'll get back to that. We'll do that right now, actually. Austin, as well as I'm going up. Just shout out to all you guys. I want to get to all you guys because it's worth it. You are the guys in the chat that make this thing go, make it turn, and I appreciate you guys. Robert as well. One thing that I wanted to bring up from the chat that Brian said earlier on in the show was this. So he wasn't planning on betting the race, but winning number under 12.5 sure looks tasty. We talked about Ross Chastain. We talked about Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. You get a lot of bang for your buck, and even Ryan Blaney. So before
What's the number though?
Brian, let me know the number right now if you're still here, please, because I might have missed that part of it. But to me,
Yeah, it sounds tasty indeed, unless it's like crazy number.
Yeah. So if Brian's still here, or if not even just Brian, if anyone can find, I know he did say it was from maybe Bet 365. If I
He
saw
said
that correctly.
Caesars and Bet 365 are best numbers. He said that was his next comment after, so maybe that's what he was referring to.
Okay.
Yeah, we would
Minus
have
130.
under.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, minus 130 for winning number under 12.5. So Ryan, what do you think about that?
We got a fair at minus 115. So it's something that I would probably stay away from. I just worry about guys like Byron, Bowman, Christopher Bell, we even mentioned as someone. I don't know, especially bringing the new tire in. It's just something I think I'd wait on. And the only ones that, like I said, the only ones I sprinkled on are ones that just two guys that rated out really well for us and showed a lot of value at 8.5, and 9 was Byron and Blaney. I think with guys like Hamlin and Larson and stuff like that, you could wait until after qualifying. I'd much rather take a 3-1 or 4-1 when I do think that they're the fastest car and good on the long run. So I don't know. That's a tough one only because I could see you mentioned Chase Briscoe. Like there's another one over 12.5. Like there's just some guys here I think that could pop that we could
Even
see
a
like
Bell,
a weird winner,
maybe?
a different type of winner. So yeah, I'd say no.
Definitely. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys as well. Chris also saying the Win the Race Discord is the best part of the subscription. Definitely agree with that. Imagine this
Thank
chat,
you.
but all day, every day. And that's what we've been saying too. Like this, I love doing this show with you guys. But if you guys going to continue the conversation, definitely bring it over there. For me, you can follow me specifically at Tino, PATTIGNO. Perfect. There it is down there. You can hear me on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. So I will be live do my best bet segments Friday morning for SiriusXM NASCAR Radio and on Tubi. You can see me, you can hear me there. I will also on Friday be on Rycape's show, so I'm excited to be on there joining him. We've been planning that for a couple weeks. So I'll be a guest on his platform there. Follow him if you don't already. Super cool guy. And then on Sunday morning, I will be doing the Nuke the House with one of our partners here at the draft. I'll be doing the Nuke the House show on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. So super excited for that. Big week for me. I hope you guys tune in. And it's going to be really cool on Sunday, too, after seeing practice and qualifying, getting sort of a re-up of everything we need to know about the race.
Awesome. Phil, where can everyone find your good stuff? I know there's no trucks again for a couple more weeks, but then we'll be back soon enough. But what's up? You got your podcast every week, too. Plug that.
Yeah. We got the Full Tank with Phil podcast that's out today. And give me a follow at Full Tank Phil on X and Instagram. We have the race day card. Like I said, the race day ads didn't work out well last week, but this week I'm going to have to with the tire situation. Act on what we see. I wish I was in a bunch of different places, cool spots like Tino, but he's got us all covered. So give him a look this week. He's going to be a very busy man. And thanks to everyone for watching. Next week, I think there's a chance I'll be doing it from the dock on the lake house up in Cooperstown. So we'll be on our vacation and we'll see as long as the mosquitoes aren't too bad. So thanks to everyone and have a good weekend.
Yeah, I got eaten alive last week out back. So
I believe
it. Wear some bug spray, man. Tubi Tino just sounds way better than Tubi Phil or Tubi Ryan as well. So
That's right.
Yeah, better ring to it. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Good luck this weekend. Wintherace.info. Go check it out. Thanks for listening. Good luck.